Hello and welcome to our Think Time, Got Time webinar. I'm so glad that you have chosen to join us today. If you would, in the chat, go ahead and place where you are from, where you're coming from tonight. And I'm so happy that you're here. So, today's webinar is all about learning how to feel the confidence that you have what it takes to get the right things done. And of course, this is going to happen when you use the planner and process designed with your brain in mind. And when I say your brain, I mean your whole brain. And this is going to bring a lot of benefit for several people. And I'll get more into that in this talk. Hi, I'm Christine, and I believe in your dreams. My name is Christine Wilson. I am a licensed professional counselor, a wife, and a mom of six. And I discovered late in life that I had symptoms of inattentive ADHD. All those things that were just Christine growing up. They turned out to be a lot like some other people as well, having no sense of time, struggling to prioritize and see into the future. Um, really being very sensitive and really being sensitive to rejection. I mean, there's so many different aspects of inattentive ADHD. And I know that if you are here and if you have experienced a similar awakening as an adult, you can look back and so many things make sense in light of this unique way that some of our brains are wired. And this unique way gives great benefit and then in some areas needs some special support. And so if that sounds like you are in the right place. I'm going to share my story of going from having no sense of time to making the most of my time. And I'm super excited that you are here to join us today. So, what we're going to cover in our talk today is we're going to quickly talk about what would your life be like if you could find the time. If you really could confidently believe that when you set a goal, you could achieve it, and when you wanted to find more time, you knew how exactly to go about doing that. We're going to talk about the transformation that people are experiencing every day with their Think Time planners and in our membership, moving from chaos to calm confidence. And we're going to share a lot of true stories and real people's quotes that they've told me directly. And I want to share those with you because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'm just another person on the internet for a lot of you. And I want you to know confidently that other people have been where you are. I have been where you are. And as you listen, you can clarify if I have been where you are, depending on who you are. But I have been in the place of having no sense of time and struggling to execute on tasks in time. And it's really been a gift to follow this very clear path forward to know what to do when things get overwhelming, to find that calm confidence. And so we'll talk about your clear steps forward and do a little Q&A, and then we'll move on. Okay, so first we're going to start with a little workshop, little mini workshop, and I want you to grab a pencil or pen and a piece of paper, because that's how I do almost everything. I want you to immediately apply what we're doing. So the question for you is today, imagine, what would you do if you could find the time? I want you to draw a picture of several of the things that come to mind when I ask you this question. And I'm just going to sit here for a moment while you go about doing that. Okay. And that silence may feel awkward for some of you. I want you to get used to it because that's a little taste of what it's like when you give yourself a little think time. And I was not doing that project. I was doing things for this presentation, but I want you to really take a few moments, get clear on your life, your dreams, and your goals. And one of the really neat things, as you drew those pictures, I'm curious to know, and if you can answer this in the chat, did you feel as though those answers surprised you? I know for me, when I answer that question, the answers that come up really surprise me. And I believe that our dreams for our time reveal our deepest values. And a lot of times, the things that we want most are those things that we say, well, if only I had the time, I would, and then fill in that question. And the thing that I want you to really grasp, if you get nothing else from me, is that I don't want you to look back on your life and say, if only I had the time, I would have, and then put whatever that important thing is. Think time is all about you being able to find the time for what matters most. And it's really, really amazingly simple and clear how to do it when you know the steps to take. So keep that hope alive that there is a way to see through the noise and all the demands of your life. I know that it's a lot, and I know there are many demands on your life. You've got a lot going on, and you have a lot of pressure and a lot of things. And it's really challenging for everyone right now with all the distractions and inputs and notifications that are happening. But especially if you already have distractions and inputs and notifications that are coming from the inside and the outside at the same time. And that's why I love working with entrepreneurs and leaders with ADHD and other people who think outside the box. You guys are my favorite. And I believe that there is a lot that you're in touch with that a lot of people are not in touch with. And if you can find the time for what matters most, the world will be a different place. So that's part of my motivation. That's why I'm here. And look at that list again and really let it sink in. Okay, so I do believe that our dreams for our time reveal our deepest values. So what you drew in your pictures, it matters a lot. And so I want you to really recognize that that matters to you. And I want to help you find time for those things that matter most. But you may have found that you have bought into a lie. Actually, it's sort of been true up until now. But let's look at that. And it's the idea that a planner can't change your life. Can you imagine buying a planner that actually changes your life? I mean, I know you bought probably 20 hoping that it would change your life. And then just been disappointed again and again and again. And the reason that this is true is because a planner only captures the decisions that you make. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I did want to highlight a planner can't change your life is a direct quote from a very, 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 very popular marketer of a simplicity planner. And I was like, are you kidding me? Did you really say that? And you feel okay selling this to people, promising simplicity and saying then a planner can't change your life and then needing to make all these courses? Well, my friend Stephanie called me saying, guess what I heard on a podcast? This person who is so and so who sells such and such simplicity planner said a planner can't change your life. Think time completely changes my life, is what she told me. And think time really does. And so think time actually is more than a planner. And so when I position it, I say planner sometimes, but it really is a life coaching process in a book that you can follow along. So it's as if you have a life coach with you, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. But a planner can't change your life, but a think time possibly could. So the reason that a planner can't change your life is because your chances of actually changing are 9 to 1. And these are pure statistics. Like you are not, now that might need to say your chances of not changing are 9 to 1. Whichever way the statistic goes, you have a 90% of the time, you're going to do what you always do. And that is just pure science. And you have neural pathways that have really routed your decision making process and have automated things. 95% of your subconscious, of your 95% of what is around you in your environment is kept down by your subconscious. And that keeps you from seeing everything that you possibly could see, which is another story we're going to get into in a moment. But you are programmed to make 90% of the same decisions today that you did yesterday, and you'll do it again tomorrow if something doesn't change. So let's talk little bit about the science. So these statistics are real. 90% of the decisions you made yesterday, you'll make again today and tomorrow. But the path forward and the path out of that is to rise above your neural pathways. It's to actually think about your thinking. And this is called metacognition. Now, this happens to be something that is very difficult for people who have ADHD. It's harder to observe your thinking patterns and to make changes. It's hard for anyone, but especially people with ADHD. The encouragement is through neurogenesis, which is a lot of the science that we've discovered, the pathways in our brains are actually not um, they're not fully they don't have to stay the same. So typically they do stay the same, but they don't have to. And so when you exercise certain parts of your brain, you can connect different networks and make new pathways and then really get great growth and change. So let's look at that. When you combine metacognition and neurogenesis, you have life change. You're going to think about your thinking. Neurogenesis means that the networks can actually connect in new ways. And it's all about connection when you're talking about the brain and neurons. And it's all about these networks connecting with each other. And so the path forward is to think about your thinking to create new neural pathways toward your dreams and goals in a way that allows you to make new decisions so that you are going to be one of the one, not one of the nine. Okay. Let the other people be the statistics of not changing, and you be the one that does change. And here's how. Okay. So you're going to think about your thinking, rise above your thinking, lean into the science of neurogenesis, and take this clear path forward to make new progress toward your dreams and goals. So life change will happen, dreams and goals will happen, and it's going to be beautiful, right? Oh, but there's a problem. Okay, what do you think the problem is? I'm really curious to hear. What is the problem with this? If it's just that easy, you think about your thinking. The science shows that we can develop new networks. We can do this. What is it? What is the reason? Why don't people change? Why might you not change? What is the problem? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. See if this helps. Does that help anybody? Do you guys know famous quotes from Albert Einstein? Okay, here's one. He said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." So if you have problems in your life, you need to reach outside your own thinking to get out and above those problems. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to quote Margie. Margie was an early user of Think Time Planner, and she said, Think Time is not a planner. It's a tool. And as I was saying earlier, it really is not a planner. It's a life coaching process that is in a book where you can follow it as if I were in the room with you, walking you through these steps. So Think Time is a tool, not a planner. And the goal is that you are going to adopt the high level thinking strategies of top performers as you make decisions for your life and your time. Okay. So it turns out that great brain function and great performance and productivity and purpose actually all sort of go together. So this is combining the way that the brain optimally works and helping you get toward your goal, starting with a dream, right? So you need a guide. You need a guide to help you know how to navigate. And this is the thing that this is the thing that I think this year is standing out to me the most is as Think Time, I don't have it priced like a planner. I have it priced like a process. And that is because I think it's a new thing. Like a Kleenex was the first tissue. And so now we always call tissues Kleenex, even if it's not the brand of Kleenex. I think Think Time is like that to this new brand of books. So these are valuable. They are basically coaching processes that you can just follow. But our life right now is so distracting and it's so demanding, and notifications are everywhere that if you're using a planner that could have been created before the the smartphone was invented, it just does not cut it anymore. It doesn't. And everyone's looking for the newest app and the newest planner and everything. And while many tools help, and I want you to use them, and you can use them in conjunction with your think time, nobody can make these decisions for your life and your time like you can. But you need a guide if you're going to get unstuck. So, what Erin said when she used Think Time was, I love Think Time. I've never had a planner that teaches me how to plan. So, imagine opening up your planner and it's guiding you through, do this first, then do this second, then do this third. You're going to start with your dreams, then you're going to decide which one of these ideas are going to get you where you want to go in the most effective way possible. Then we're going to put these on your calendar in the most effective way. And you're going to review, how did it go? And you're going to be grateful and exercise gratitude. You're you're moving in mindfulness, and you're moving in creative thinking, and you're moving in boundaries, and you're moving in gratitude and productivity and metacognition and neurogenesis and all of these wonderful things, energy management, relationships, all of the things that make life work in one seamless, easy to use process. So it's really laid out very clearly for you, and it is a guide. Um, but let's talk a little bit more about that. What makes a good guide? So, one thing that I think you need to know is that um, a guide has been there, has been where you are. And so that's why I share my story. I really do get it. I remember what it was like to work all day and to throw my head on the pillow at night, completely discouraged that I did not get the most important things done again. And the night before, I had gone to bed determined, I will work harder. I will try so hard. And then I will go to bed, and the most important things were still not done. But I had worked from the time I woke up till the time I got to bed. Nobody was working harder than I was, but my hard work wasn't working for me. Um, so let me tell you a little bit about myself, because the planner is basically a process I've developed that has worked for me. And so this will help you to see if you have been where I was. So I was born super sensitive. My mom would pick me up from my naps, and I would just be like, "Oh, those lights, they're too bright." And I was from a large family. My dad was the pastor. And so I'd be at church, but after church, there was so much stimulation. I would just go hide under a bed. I needed to just have that low stimulation. My body knew intuitively I needed to have some low stimulation time to rejuvenate and to regroup. I had no sense of time. I daydreamed. And so all of a sudden, people are like, impatient with me, and I don't know why, and what's happening. And that was hard. Slow processing is also, and you may notice as I'm talking, I'll say and gather my thoughts. I'm a slow processor at times. And my whole life I didn't know. I thought that people just started conversations without me, and it really was that I was a slow processor and was not aware of that. That didn't mean I wasn't top of my class. I was. And so it was hard. They call it twice exceptional now. You're gifted, and then you have these areas of life that need support. So I did graduate top of my class, or like one of very top, very few top people, um, and excelled in sports and things, but would definitely have these aspects that were harder, like organization. I would forget my shoes for volleyball games, or just basic things that basic routine tasks were difficult for me. And so if you have a child with ADHD, or if you've had ADHD, you understand what that's like, and how much unnecessary frustration comes toward that person who is struggling. And so it's really sad and really difficult to be that person. And so I learned from an early age that the only way I could accomplish something is to get stressed out at the last minute and go, "Oh, I've got to get this done." And so college, I literally pulled all nighters to get things done. And I even in grad school, I think I did those 24-page papers very much at the last minute. Um, but that's where I thrived. And a lot of you may be the same way. But the more responsibility that you have, and the more reliable that you want to be, and more dependable that you want to be to those around you, the less those strategies work in a real life. And so, flash forward to now, I'm a mom of 6 kids. and I have a business and I homeschool, and that's a lot of responsibility. I can't do everything at the last minute anymore. So, how do I do it? Well, I found a way using Think Time, and I'll share that with you today. In 2015, I conducted a neuroscience experiment. I call it a pen and paper neuroscience experiment in my garage. And I discovered a new way to engage my whole brain, new parts of my brain that I'd not really used in planning. And I was amazed at the immediate change that occurred. And I I said I have a note in my notes to say this is a struggle for my marketing because you're supposed to say it didn't happen overnight. You had to really apply a lot of effort, and it takes forever for things to work, and you have to build habits over time, of course, for natural change. But this wasn't that. This was literally an immediate change. I did something different prior to jumping into a highly distracting task. And instead of being distracted, I was incredibly focused, very focused, in fact. And so much so that I could tell what a distraction was and I could tell what the goal was. And I achieved exactly what I set out to achieve for the first time. And it's just because I did this whole brain planning techniques right before diving into that task. So in marketing, I struggle with, I don't want to say, it's wonderful and it will bring immediate change and it'll happen overnight, but it kind of did for me. And for a lot of other people, it did as well. It really is a remarkable thing to engage the strong part of your brain while you move toward your dreams and goals. Because, truth be told, your whole brain isn't broken. It's the executive functioning piece struggles. But why can't we use other parts of the brain to move toward our dreams and goals? And that's what I've discovered. So I've been there, was the main point of what I was trying to say. I've been there. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to put my head on the pillow completely discouraged. I know what it's like to not have any sense of time. And I know what it's like to find a way and then to be so excited about it and to want to share that with others. So, this clear path of using whole brain strategies, um, combining creativity with productivity and coming through with a purposeful plan, really shows that top brain function, whole brain strategies, and top performance really go hand in hand. They work together. It makes a lot of sense. So, my process has what I call back to front, right to left, and on and off, three different angles of whole brain processes. And then later on, I even add in the membership whole body processes that continue to engage the whole brain. So, the next thing I want you to know is that it's doable. And I hear this all the time. Let's see if that quote is next. Yes. So, is it doable? And I love what Francesca said. She said, people think that think time will be hard, but it's so easy. And when she was telling me this, she was describing to me how she had these big goals for her year. And she put them in her think time planner in the way I show you to visualize and to get really clear on what you're headed toward. And she achieved her yearly goals in 2 months, just using these strategies. And it's pretty incredible. But she agreed that people do think, oh no, it's different, it's going to be hard, but it actually is easy. So you give yourself just a little bit of time, to give yourself the opportunity to learn. It is a little different. It does take some type of understanding and learning, but largely it's pretty easy and pretty fast to learn. So from overwhelmed to calm, I've heard it more times than I can count. Haley said, I can calm down. I can see that I'm getting things done. And she was talking about the 90-day time frame. When you start with a Think Time Planner, you'll use different time frames: yearly, quarterly, monthly, and weekly. And then eventually, if you'd like to add a daily, that is fine. But I want you to do that after you've gotten these larger time frames down, because if you plan on a daily basis alone or primarily, you really set yourself up automatically to be reactive. And so that's what Haley was commenting on, was this 90-day planner, this 90-day time frame where she could see that over 90 days she's achieving her goals. And when we constantly look at a time frame such as a day, we feel defeated all the time. But when you look at a larger time frame and you can see where you're going, it's super helpful. So she loved the 90-day time frame. And I like to say that it's not about checking everything off the list. It's about having the right list. And I think that is what brings people from overwhelmed to calm, because a lot of the ideas, you feel like you have 100 things due and they're all due now. And that's the normal experience for the ADHD brain. And what this helps you to do is, if you imagine if you have like 100 army men, just army men and women, I guess, just standing in front of you, and they all look like tasks that need to be done, right? Um, Imagine two or three stepping forward and saying, focus right here. That's what going through the think time process is like. It's like you don't have to attend to all of the 100 things that are yelling at you saying, focus here, focus here, focus here. You just find those, you go through the process, find those few things that need to be done that need your attention the most. And that's where you give your attention. And it's really pretty powerful when you combine that with other productivity truths that show that not every activity is the same. So if you're not giving yourself think time, you're likely working very hard and getting a lot of things done, but these things may or may not be actually driving results. And that's the worst. I mean, you're working so hard, your health is suffering, your relationships are suffering, you feel like you're trying as hard as you can, and things are just not working. And so, what I want you to do is give that up. Stop trying to do everything. Identify what matters most. Those things that will get you 80% of the way there. Do those first, and then look at the other list and see what else you can fit in. But always do the most important things first. Okay. What I love when on the topic of doable, I love Becca's story because she started using Think Time Planner in the middle of a season of burnout. And once she realized, I don't want to um, actually, I don't know that she started it. She was using her think time planner and she realized that her life was not aligned with her values. She was staring at a screen while she wanted to be connecting with people. And she was spending her best hours of the day at work. And she had little kids that she wanted to have her eye contact. And she said, I finally put in my 2 weeks notice and fulfilled all of my obligations. I don't think I could have made that career change at the point of burnout without the think time process. So she literally was at burnout, and she was able to really fully, completely honor her obligations to her employer and then move on to this value based way of life that she was moving towards. She had some visions for entrepreneurial endeavors that she wanted to do, and also relationships that she wanted to spend more time on. And so, at the point of burnout, I know you know what that's like. I know we've all been there. It's really hard to know which end is up sometimes. And so she was able to find out through going through this relatively easy process, but definitely doable. She was able to use that to make things happen that mattered. So, is think time for me? So, let me talk about some of the people that think time usually is great for. Technically, it is a whole brain planner and can be used by anyone to achieve dreams and goals in a distracting world. It's going to help you sift and sort through all the things you have going on. But one thing I've noticed, and this is what I noticed several years in to think time, is that the people who love think time were often ADHD entrepreneurs and creative leaders, philanthropists, big hearted people who had something very important to offer into the world. But it's hard to find the time, a lot of times, to focus. And when you're super distractible, it can be really challenging. So, for a lot of people with ADHD, think time was working. And so finally I looked at myself and I thought, oh, well, that's why it worked for me, because I had no sense of time. That's why it completely changed everything for me. I went from never planning to loving planning. And it's not really planning, it's dreaming and setting goals. And planning still sounds boring to me, but like it really is a blessing to get a little think time, to get clarity, and then really live aligned with my values and priorities. And so that's one group of people that I've really found love think time. Creatives also love think time. So there's it's broken down into a dream, decide, do, and review. So when you're looking at the week, this is a week in a think time planner. And you'll notice, let's see how well this will take a video. Here are all the thinking exercises for the dream phase, the decide phase, and then you have the do phase. So you don't just have a planner going across all the pages. I added the calendar tool, which is about the 13th tool last. I thought at the end of my process, it's actually a dreams and goals coaching process, that these decisions have to land somewhere. So I should probably put a calendar in there. So again, I didn't set out to create a planner or the next new planner, and productivity planners weren't even a thing yet. I literally made think time and thought, I don't know what to call this thing, but it's a think time. So basically, you're taking time out of your life, un, um, giving it your time to, you're basically giving yourself time for your dreams and goals and what matters most. Creatives love it because you have so many ideas and you're afraid of losing them, right? They're on the back of napkins, on the back of envelopes, tucked in that drawer at the very back, and you can never find them. And so what this does is this says yes to every idea that pops in your mind. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. Oftentimes, you will find yourself trying to complete a task at the wrong time because you're afraid you'll forget to do it later, right? So, think time solves that problem by having the dream phase where everything is a yes. You can say yes to everything. Later on, you'll go back and decide what needs to be done now, decide what goes on the calendar. But there's that time where you just need to let your mind wander and you just allow the science of 8 out of 100 ideas are good ideas. And you don't want to act on everyone right when it pops in, even if it feels amazing. Um, 8 out of 100 are good, so you want to keep them coming, but be very selective about where you actually apply your time in the moment. Okay, and the third group of people that it may surprise you are ultra high performers. And so you may call these the half percenters, but these are people who really want to get to the next level. So if you think about it, if you have ADHD and you want to operate at a normal place, you're getting to the next level. If you are a high performer, that half percent makes all the difference. It's the difference between getting gold or not even placing. And so every little bit of brainwave, neural capacity, mindset, mindfulness, creative thinking, focus, and ultra focus, and how to harness your focus, all of that plays a big role. And so if you're looking for a process to constantly train your mind to think in terms of energy management, focus, productivity, purpose, relationships, life balance, all of these things are woven into the process. And so I can't think of a better planner for high performers than Think Time. Again, you are marrying so many things. So a lot of what's in sports psychology and performance is in the Think Time planner. So if you're looking for that half percent advantage, Think Time is going to be the best tool to get you there. Okay, now Think Time is not for you. There are people Think Time is not for. Number one, people who are unwilling to try something new. Like at the beginning of this webinar, I probably weeded out some people when I said draw something and then I allowed for silence. That probably had several people drop off. So if you lasted through that, that's good because Think Time does get uncomfortable. And there's a lot of science that says that people would rather have electric shocks than actually think. So, you know, put yourself in my position and think about trying to market something people don't ever want and they actually hate and don't ever want to do. Think, but it's the one thing that we know does work for life change. So if you're not willing to try something new, if you're not willing to do something that's humbling, like drawing a picture, or something that's a little scary, like pausing, right? If you're not willing to do that, and I've had people say to my face, I don't have time to think, I'm too busy. And I get that. But you're the exact person who needs it the most, right? But you've got to be willing to try new things. You have much greater chance of doing the same thing over and over again if you don't challenge that. Now, the second thing is a real big heartbeat for me, and that is if you want to become a different person to do what only you can do. And I kind of and I put that phrase in a juxtaposition, right? So it sort of is bringing out the difficulty of you wanting to become a different person to do what only you can do. And so if you're serious about being who only you can be and doing what only you can do in this short life and short time, Does it make sense to try to make yourself into a different person so you can finally achieve that? Like, I need to be organized. I need to be on top of it. I need to be efficient. I need to be regular. I need to be disciplined. I need to be something other than what I am. I need to be type A. No, be yourself. Be creative. Be a little out of the box, right? That's how you're going to operate best. You just need a process and a tool created for that out of the box thinker, right? So don't try to become someone else. And with Think Time, you're not performing to get badges and to say, I am someone now because I achieved something. You can use it for that if you want to, but I really want you to embrace and accept you matter and you have value right now before you accomplish anything with Think Time. Then from there, express the value of you as you are because you are. You exist, you are, you matter, you take up space, you have thoughts, you have dreams. These are yours and they are yours on purpose. And so I want you to just really, really, really consider if you are a person who has put off a lot of things until you finally get organized. I'll do that when I get organized. I'll do that when I fill in the blank. Don't wait to become a different person. Your dreams and goals matter. When you're 70, you might still be somewhat disorganized. I don't know. I've seen a lot of disorganized 70-year-olds, and that stopped me in my tracks in my early 20s. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's possible to actually not reach that. I didn't realize that that's something that some people wouldn't overcome, right? But you may or may not get organized, but you need to achieve your dreams and goals. You've got important things to do, and that's what we want to focus on first. You may make becoming organized a dream or goal. I actually did that. When I started this whole process, I decided I'm not going to wait until I'm organized to go for my dreams and goals. And so I did that for several years. And then eventually, when I felt comfortable, I said, okay, now I'm going to make it a goal to become organized. But it wasn't the first thing. And I was able to accomplish a lot of things without ever really becoming a different person or becoming organized or reaching that goal. But it eventually did become a goal because organization does actually help things, but is not always the most important or first thing that you need to do. So I want you to build your confidence that you can achieve a goal that you set, and do it in the way that works for your mind. And I show you how in my planner and membership. Okay, now the third person this is not for is the person who wants to pursue your dream or goal no matter what the cost. And again, this is a productivity process made by a counselor. And so I'm coming from a perspective of you, your heart, intergenerational things, your kids, how your time is impacting them, how your perception of your time is impacting your ability to love and serve others. You as a whole person. So that's where I'm coming from as I've created this process. Anyone can blitz productivity and get a ton of things done in 3 months, but have the rest of their life completely just chaos, right? I don't want that for you. Let me turn to the next slide. There are 3 R's that we weave into the process. The first is relationships. Without your relationships, I don't want you to be running past the finish line and have no one there. That's sad. The second is results. I want you to get results. I want you to achieve tasks, activities, and things that matter to you. And the third R is resilience. Resilience is really important because this is the energy management. This is the getting up after you've fallen down. This is the building into the who of who you are. So I want your relationships to be strong. I want you to get amazing results. And I want you to be in it for the long haul. I don't want you blitzing productivity and achieving a goal but losing your marriage. I started this great business but I lost my family. No, that's not what we want. We want you to be a whole person, whole and healthy, and that's the goal. Okay. I love this picture of a path, and so I just included it on this slide. I want to talk about your path forward. Okay. So when you start the Think Time process, it basically starts with buying a planner. And when you do, you have a complimentary online video training in the 3DR process. We use a Think Time planner, and that helps you to set aside regular time to move through the process on a yearly, quarterly, monthly, and weekly basis. And yes, it is all in one book. And I'm going to show you my slimline planner, which cracks me up. It's so simple. This actually has all those time frames in it. It's a yearly, monthly, quarterly, and weekly. And so it is all in there. You can see those different time frames with bonuses in the back. So you'll set time aside with your planner. Once you'll learn the process, use the planner, and then when you're ready to take your growth to the next level with community and laser coaching lessons, you can join the Think Time membership community. Okay? So I want you to be able to make a decision to know if this is going to be right for you. The transformation for so many people has been from chaos to calm confidence. Evan said, Think time helps me to be present in my own life. You cannot put a price tag on that. He was talking about just even doing a task in your yard. You can be doing it with a frenetic, eagerness to get a job done, or you can be completing this task with presence and ability to talk to your neighbor and feeling peaceful inside. And that was the difference he talked about when he was speaking about his experience with Think Time Planner. Who is this for? ADHD, entrepreneurs, creative leaders, and high performers. And I include, as a mom of 6 kids, I include homeschooling parents. I include parents of all types because you're really starting from ground zero and crafting an entire heritage for this group. You have a limited time, limited budget, and you have a big goal and high stakes. And so I include parents in that category. So I really think the distractions are just out of this world when you're a parent, right? The curveballs, the need to pivot, it's all in there. Okay. Andy said, I didn't think I would ever be able to use a planner, but with Think Time I can. Let me tell you a little bit about Andy. He was a veteran and was in the Battle of Fallujah and lost several friends. And he left that battle with a terrible brain injury. Shouldn't have lived, and he did. And I say shouldn't have lived, like he really was very injured, and he should have lived because he did. And I'm so thankful. But he's an engineer and a dad, and a philanthropist. He starts nonprofits, and he's an incredible person, but he would do things kind of by the skin of his teeth and just like try to get things done all in one day, and just didn't have a method to be able to see into the future in a way that worked for his brain. And I don't know if I said, I think traumatic brain injury. And then he discovered he had ADHD, and then he also had PTSD from the war, of course. And so all those barriers were just so much, and he had not been able to use a planner, but with Think Time he was able to, and so really changed so much of his life. And I interviewed him about his marriage and his life, and it's been really fun to see his journey and his story. So I hope that through this you've been able to see several stories of several people in different walks of life, from all types of life actually, gaining access to the next level through Think Time Planner. So hopefully you've had the ability to hear stories, that you've been able to see, I like you. And if you're a person who has a hard time with time, sequencing tasks, just really having a lot of those ADHD traits, then yeah, if you're smart but scattered, then yeah, you're in the right place. And then can I lead you? So I have a track record of 7 years of leading people through this process. And so many people are just getting immediate and amazing results, and then building upon those with the membership as well. And there's a clear path to lead you to your goal. And within the planner, it's a dream, decide, do, review process. And it's mapped out for you, and it's taught both in the planner and in these online video tutorials. And you can follow that path and get results. Next is, I want you to hear Heather's quote. I love it. When I feel overwhelmed, I pull out my Think Time, move through the process, then I feel calm. You just follow the process, and you don't have to worry about remembering the process because it's there for you. You don't have to develop the skills. You don't have to wait for good habits to happen, because habits can take decades to build. This is pausing, moving through these exercises that help you to access top performance thinking strategies and make better decisions for your life. So I really want you to focus on your destination and to imagine your life. What would it be like if you had the calm confidence that if you had a dream or goal, you have what it takes to get the right things done so you can achieve those dreams and goals. And I want you to just focus for a moment and think and then answer in the chat what would change for you if you finally felt the confidence you had what it took to get the right things done. Nothing changing in your circumstances, nothing changing in the chemicals of your brain, nothing changing in anything except you pausing, pulling out your think time planner, moving through the proven process, and then feeling better. I want you to experience the same transformation as so many people are experiencing, going from I'm not a planner. I can't tell you how many times I've said that I'm not a planner. And Kelly said, when I want to rejuvenate, I pick up my think time. It's truly a delightful process to pause and reorient yourself to this is who I want to be from the inside out. So you'll notice that I've got you covered. We have online courses, we've got things that you can walk through. And so there are two things I offer. This week, I am offering the membership, and that is open for 1 week. Now, you can buy the planner 24/7 anywhere around the world. And this is about $10 a month. It's very low investment for this type of change. And what I love about that, and I have often been told, you need to raise your prices. And I may raise them. I may separate out the course and the planner and let the planner stand side, to the side and charge more for the course. But right now, this is how I have it set up, and we're just going to keep going with this for a little bit longer. And that is that the planner is 128, and I did select a price that's higher than a planner because you are being asked to literally set aside 1 hour a week to move through this process. And I want you to invest something more than a planner. And I don't want you to think that you're just getting a planner and it's not going to demand anything of you. This will demand you setting aside time out of your life to give attention to your dreams and goals. It's asking something from you. So I'm asking something. I want you to invest first so that you will give your time. Okay. So it sounds backwards, but I raised the price for you. I want you to invest. I decided this is not a planner. This is not something that I don't want you to be surprised that this is asking you to commit some time. But when you go through this, the results are amazing. So when you come in, you can start the membership alongside this process, or you can wait until after you've learned just the planner itself. It's up to you. The membership is open twice a year, and I would recommend hopping on in. I can't think of any better use of your time in your life than joining this membership. And let me tell you a little bit about it. You can learn even more going to think-time.com/membership. But what we're going to do in the membership is we talk about a few things. One is growing your purpose. So we talk about you getting aligned with your purpose, your dreams, and goals. Next, we talk about growing your dreams. How do you actually identify your dreams? How do you clarify what they are? There are actually proven processes and ways that you can access different parts of your brain to really get to your heart, what we call the heart, so that you're really aligned as you move toward your dreams. Next is growing your strategy. There is a way where you can work all day and never actually accomplish anything. There's another way where you can actually work a little bit and accomplish a lot. And that's what we work on in that section of the membership. After your strategy, we're going to move on to growing your results. So I want you to grow your results as far as you can. I don't want there to be a ceiling over your head. And then finally, growing your mindset. I want you to have a mindset that's going to be resilient. I want you to bounce back after trouble, and I don't want you to stay down when things are hard. Now we're going to go to some Q&A. So you may be wondering, what is the time commitment for this membership? So the membership itself is going to be 15 minutes per laser coaching session. And so I deliver in bundles once a month. enough for you to have a 15-minute laser coaching session once a week. And when you receive this bundle, you are going to have the opportunity to grow in all of the areas that I've already mentioned. And we're going to target one aspect once a week. So it's never overwhelming for you. And this is the part that I just love because I've literally created this membership with the distractible ADHD brain in mind. And so it's made for you. So you don't actually have to set aside an hour to look at your screen and do a task. So you basically just do 15 minutes a week and you are going to be blown away at what you can accomplish. By the end of 1 year, that's going to be 52 times that you have looked at your life in one targeted area. And the beauty about it is you're applying things. So you're not learning. This is my conviction is that you're not just learning because that's what all workshops are. You put it on a shelf and figure out how to apply it later. Think time is all about guiding you in the moment to apply things immediately now. So the life change occurs immediately. And that's how each one of these sessions is designed. Okay, now what if you're at a different stage? Let's say you're a beginner, or let's say you're really advanced. Let's talk about that. So, I have actually seen amazing results in both categories. I've worked with CEOs that are highly trained and get the most amazing results within 15 minutes of working with my material. I've been amazed and astounded at the results that super high performers have gotten from Think Time. So, if you think that you're so highly trained that you don't think you will need anything that Think Time has to offer, I really want you to try it out because it's really challenging because it causes you to go deep. So I don't think that there's really anyone who is too trained to benefit from Think Time. Now, what if you're just beginning? Do you need to get to a certain level to begin? Well, I have actually used the Think Time process with children, and it's astounding to see what it brings out in them. And so I've seen 12-year-olds dream big for founding orphanages, and I've seen 8-year-olds plan their days. So I really encourage you, no matter where you are, from beginning to advanced, I think it's worth giving a try. I really recommend the Think Time membership. Okay, let's see. What if you've done a course like this before? So this is great. No, there actually isn't a course like this. You're going to find a lot of teaching and training. You can have a life coach that can move you through some of these things. You can have an ADHD coach. Oh no. Okay, I hope that we averted crisis. You may be able to hire a coach for about $3,000 plus a month to lead you through some of the things. There are some things in very, very, very advanced trainings that are in Think Time. You also can scour the internet for one of the topics. You could study mindfulness, for instance, very deeply, or you could study creative thinking very deeply, or you could go deep into boundaries, or you could go deep into gratitude, or you could go deep into a number of things, energy management, for instance, productivity, for instance. So these are all aspects of the Think Time process, but they're easily accessible in one tool and one membership here. So I really recommend what I've tried to do is I've tried to take what I call the 20%. Uh, what I've tried to do is take the most important aspects of each of these super high performance areas and put just the tippy top into this process so you get the most results with the least input. So, what if you're just beginning? Again, I say, what if you're just beginning? You actually are going to want to start with the membership. So, if you're just beginning, you've never had any productivity training, you don't even think that you could open up a planner, I want you to join this membership because what you're going to find in the membership is a bonus lesson. And I actually don't even have a slide for this, but I will tell you right now about the bonuses. One of the bonuses is from chaos to confidence. It is my favorite course. So, in response to so many people saying, I don't have time to sit with a planner. I can't imagine sitting down with a planner. I don't have time to think. I thought, well, okay, let's take that excuse away. Let's say you don't have the ability to focus and sit down with a planner. Is it possible for you to achieve your dreams and goals better? Can you still change some of your thinking? So I took the challenge and I wish I had my headset here. Let's see, do I have my headphones anywhere? Yes, I do. So I created an all audio course where you can just put on your headphones and it's best on your headphones. But what you do is you just put on your headphones and do your day. And I have, I think, several, I want to say it's up to 90 minutes total or 90 lessons. I forget. But they're short 2 to 3 minute increments of really power packed messages that help you to change your thinking and help you to make better decisions for your life and your time, help you to focus on what matters most and achieve those goals in a distracting world. So if you're just beginning, start the membership, and that course is a $99 course, and you can make up for that in 1 month of the membership. You've got that paid for. So you lose nothing even if you cancel after 1 month. Join the membership for From Chaos to Confidence. It is a bonus. It is my favorite course. I love it. So I created it for the person who's completely overwhelmed, who can't imagine pausing for an hour to learn a process. If that sounds like you, join the membership, take the From Chaos to Confidence course first. While I'm on that topic, I will talk about two other bonuses that I've included. Another one is the course Discover Your Purpose in 5 Minutes. And that is a bonus that I love as well. And so often we think of achieving your purpose is something that's just lofty and hard to just even imagine approaching that topic, but it doesn't have to be that way. It actually can be easy. And I guide you through 5 minute exercises that help you to get pretty clear on the ballpark of some things you can do to live your purpose on purpose in this short life. So if you've never thought about giving attention to your unique purpose on this earth, that course, Discover Your Purpose in 5 minutes, is a bonus waiting for you as soon as you join the Think Time membership. Now, the third bonus is the tiniest course I've ever made in my life, but it's a power packed little tiny course. And if you've ever struggled with clutter, like most people who fall into the people who love Think Time, you're going to love this course. It is a whole brain approach to clutter. And there's some answers and solutions that I literally made a super tiny audio course to give you a couple ideas of things you can do that may provide immediate relief if you just apply them. So those are 3 bonuses. There are 3 courses that are waiting for you. You'll also find that when you join the membership, you have immediate access to a core content section. And so that's going to preview those areas that I talked about: growing your dreams, growing your strategy, growing your mindset, and others as well. So let's see, any other questions? Let's see. So I don't know if I totally answered this. What if you've done a course like this before? There's just not really one out there like this one. Again, you can take one of those topics, but we're talking about a whole brain, whole life strategy for you to live on purpose, for you to be productive, and for you to boost your performance. And there's just nothing out there like this. We've been here for 7 years. No one's approached what we're doing. It's really fun. And you can't Google and find the answers either. Like it's just not out there. So you can probably do AI all you want. It's not out there. It will be, but it's not there yet. Each individual thing is, but not the whole process altogether. Okay, and what makes it different? So the whole brain process is really key. You've benefited from creative thinking exercises, dreaming, and dream coaching. You've benefited from productivity class. You've benefited from boundaries courses. You've benefited from counseling and therapy, and you've benefited from mindfulness training, and you've benefited from energy management and exercise and all of these things. But do you have a holistic process to bring this all together to constantly allow you to dream big for your life and achieve your goals in real time? That's actually easy to use. I don't think there's anything like it. So it's quite different. It also uses parts of your brain. I think for people who haven't been able to find a planning process that works for them, a lot of times there is a break, especially if you have ADHD, there's a break in the brain between knowing what to do and actually doing it. And so this helps to bridge that gap where when you're making decisions for your life and your time, you're making those decisions at the point of performance, which is a really key thing about interventions for ADHD. You want to make the decisions for your life and your time being guided by this process. And then it's pretty powerful how it works together. Um, okay, are there any other questions that you guys see? Yes. Okay. So, what if you don't think as you're starting out, you don't think that you can learn all of the process at one time? So, we had that experience with Rachel, and I encourage Rachel just to try one tool a week. And so, over the course of 90 days, if you want to get into the planning process, over the course of 90 days, you can do one tool at a time, and that for Rachel, that worked. She was in a season where she had a newborn and she was trying to finish a curriculum that she was writing. And so she was an author finishing her deadline for her book. And then she had a baby too. That's a lot at one time. And then to have a process that allows you to complete the task while feeling balanced in your life and having the most organized home ever, that was Rachel's experience. So, yes, if you are starting and you feel like I can't even think about doing all of this, I have a 90-day easy plan where you literally apply one tool per week and get there in 90 days. And okay, I think that is most of it. So, and I really encourage you to join the membership. The cool thing is, it's $97 a month. And again, as soon as you enter the Think Time membership, you're going to see the core content waiting for you. That core content's going to be waiting for you. You're going to have access to the 3 bonus courses, and then you're going to get dripped content of one bundle a month where you're accessing one 15-minute laser coaching session that's going to guide you gently into this process so that a year from now it's so different. And I love how Becca said just 2 years ago I was in a completely different place, and she's been with me I think 3 years now. She's coming up on her 3rd year, but her ability to stay in front of her life and her time and her money, talk about saving money. If you cannot capture your focus, your money is flying away. So this is an amazing way to constantly invest in your focus and your productivity and your ability to decide what's getting your life, your time, and your money. I do want you to compare this with coaching. I think coaches for life coaches, they can be up to $3,000 a month. And so I think that this is an amazing opportunity. If you already have a coach, you can keep the coach that you love. You don't have to get rid of your coach. But also, if that expensive coaching is too much for you, then this is a great start for you to get into personal growth and personal productivity without having to break the bank. So I encourage you to go ahead and click the link in or near this video for you to be able to access your opportunity to join the membership. It is only open through this link and at this time, and I really hope that you will join us on the inside. We meet once a month for encouragement and Q&A, and you can bring your questions and we will go through those as well. And it's such, I feel like I named it the fireside chat because it just feels like a fireside where we're sitting back chatting about things and talking about how we're each moving toward dreams and goals, and what you can do better, how you can apply certain strategies, and then you guys learn from each other, which is my favorite part, watching you learn from each other. So I hope you join us, and I will look forward to seeing you on the inside. Go ahead and click the button that is on or near this video, or the link that is close by, and I can't wait to see you on the inside. Okay, bye guys.